and gentlemen, I was rather ecstatic when, in the span of 1 week, I received screeners for a new Jackie Chan movie and a new Donnie Yen movie. Wow, a week of really good viewing, right? Now, I've already done the review on the Donnie Yen movie. It's called The Prosecutor. And if you haven't watched my review yet, you may want to scroll down a little bit on this page. It is posted there. You will enjoy it. I think it's one of the better movies that I've watched so far this year. Jackie Chan has a new one too. And Jackie's been doing something a little, well, it's not strange, but it's different for him. He's been doing more family oriented movies. His last movie was with a horse, and it was all about a horse. He has a movie coming up soon with pandas, and they're very friendly and they're very kid oriented. This movie, not so much. It fits into a different vein, kind of a vein that combines Jackie Chan's two genres, an historical martial arts genre and a more comedic genre. How did it fare? Cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And the truth is that in a week, when I get both a Donnie Yen and a Jackie Chan movie, Donnie Yen wins, okay? It's not that this is a bad movie, and it certainly is more on track with what we expect from Jackie Chan. His family oriented movies were actually getting a bit too sappy to sit through. And this movie is, as I said, it covers both genres that Jackie Chan usually has in his films, and it's done it in a time shift, which is kind of unique. You see, we have two stories being told at the same time, one in feudal China and one in modern times. The one back in feudal China is very serious. It's fight scenes, and it's the very traditional type of historic movies where they have that fly fu. The everybody can fly like 9 feet in the air and zoom across mountains and walk across trees and all that stuff you came associated with and used to, I guess, in Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. And as a result, the fight scenes are just fantastical. Okay. That is very serious, and that is, if you will, the tragedy of the story, because from the get go, this is going to be a little too much for the hero to go through, okay? And it doesn't look like it's going to end well. On the other hand, in the modern timeline of the story, Jackie plays this one more for the humor that he normally works into his movies. He was a very big Buster Keaton film, so there's a lot of physical comedy as well as verbal comedy mixed into this. So you get that dichotomy there between when the movie shifts from the very serious and tragic history part of the movie and the very modern, lighthearted, and comedic modern tale. And the actors play similar characters in both storylines. And at times, you get the impression that the people in the future, the people who are in modern times, have a pretty good understanding of who they were in the past.
将士们，此役敌众我寡，九死一生。合围，放手！ 梦见一个人很年轻，跟你长得很像。
玉承载着死者的灵梦。
这什么地方？原来古代匈奴真的有圣地。
告诉我圣地在哪儿？
圣地只有大赛们才知道。
人类因为贪婪、抢夺资源，互相残杀。
有死而荣，无生而辱。
我刚刚梦见一个大帅哥，但是你没有他殷勤。
So the movie is called Legend, and let me see if I can give you some of the people behind the camera. It was written by Stanley Tong, and I do like the idea of the two different timelines and the two different means with each timeline in the story. Director of photography was Lee Chi Hua. He does yeoman duty. The fight scenes are naturally the Chinese normally use those cant camera angles and those off angle shots to make the leaps in the air and the flying look much more dramatic, and he incorporates all of those. Editor for this movie was Yao Chi Wei, and once again, like most Chinese editors, he doesn't know when to stop. And too many of these scenes carry on for a very long time, and they don't need to be. The movie is over 2 hours long, and really, even with a dual timeline, you're looking at a 90-minute movie at best. I do want to mention Stanley Tong, though, because he is the man responsible for all of the action. He's worked with Jackie Chan many times before, so we get to see a lot of the techniques that Chan is known for incorporated in both the old time and the new time, and that's a good thing. But really, the fight scenes, especially those in the historical timeline, are really just way too fantastical. So all of the actors in this movie can play their dual roles and get away with it, except for Jackie Chan. In the modern storyline, he is an older professor and he looks like Jackie Chan looks now. But in the historical context, he plays a young general. So, it's kind of tough to make Jackie look, they used AI, is basically what they did. And, the AI wasn't all that great. There are times when you can look at the character and you know immediately that it's a younger version of Jackie Chan. There are times when they've incorporated the AI, it doesn't look like Jackie Chan at all. In fact, you're wondering who the actor is. It was very, very inconsistent. And because of that, when this movie was released, and it was released earlier in China before it was released here, boy, the Chinese audience just didn't like it. They didn't appreciate the fact that Chan morphed into different phases when he was back as this fighting general, and it wasn't very, very well received. I mentioned that Chan had done a movie with a horse. My review is on that, and you can scroll down that. It came out last year. It's called Ride, and um, he has a thing with horses now. So there are an awful lot of horses in this movie. In fact, they used 6,000 horses to do some of the battle scenes in the historical part of the movie, and it took over 1,000 herders to corral those horses and get them all in order. That's a huge expense, and this movie ended up costing close to 50 million US dollars. That would be the equivalent to make, which is really big. It did not perform well at the box office in China, and that's why it's being released now over here in the West, so that hopefully, people will find it a little bit more entertaining. Let me tell you someone who's always entertaining. That's the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic. So why don't we peel back those veils of time and check it now with Rex Reed.
Jackie Chan did not know how to end this film, so he has used a cheesy cinematic ploy by including two endings. This, along with the 4 AI, did not sit well with Chinese audiences and will seem just a bit too fake for American audiences as well.
Thank you, Rex. The name of the movie is A Legend, and it stars Jackie Chan in a dual role, one where he is Jackie Chan and one where he is an AI avatar of Jackie Chan. This movie really is a little bit too long, and the AI falters. Some of the fight scenes are really over the top. All in all, these little tiny foibles add up to pull the movie down a little bit. We're just going to give it a C rating. It's kind of average, and we would expect a little bit more from Jackie Chan in this particular movie. I did like the concept of the two different timelines, the one being rather comedic and the other one being historic. The movie wraps up with the comedic line, and at that point, the movie becomes so over the top that it actually borders on slapstick, and you start scratching your head saying, "No, this isn't working," and the whole thing kind of falls apart. For fans of Jackie Chan, they'll like this. All his standard stuff is in there, and a few things a little bit extra thrown in to wet the palate, so to speak. But all in all, it can't get over those little hurdles that are in there. You should stay on top, on the bleeding edge, if you will, of movies. Let's face it, how many of your mainstream media have covered either the Donnie Yen movie or the Jackie Chan? No, they're not going to cover it. You get it here from your cinematic professor and from Rex Rio. We'll give it to you. We'll let you know what it's about. This is where you come for the movies that, they're not the big box office top 10 market movies. You want to find out what's going on in other movies. This is the place to be. So I'd like you to click like, and then I'd like you to click that little subscribe button. This way, every time Rex and I put out a review, you will be notified and have first access to all this goodness. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth